It looks like we're playing Storage Wars again, but this time's a little bit different. We found a Pontiac Granville sitting in the storage locker for over 20 years, but what makes this story special isn't just the car. This locker belongs to a couple that divorced 2 decades ago. Life took them in separate directions, but one thing never changed. She kept paying the bill on the storage unit every month for 20 years. And then he found out. Now, not only have they found their way back to each other, but they've asked us to bring this sleeping giant back to life. This story is more than a detail. This is about second chances.
The weather was nice as we pulled up, and then the second we start to film, downpour.
Oh man, whoa. This thing's sweet.
Look at this thing. Look at that Pontiac Granville. Oh, thank God. They put blankets over it so the interior didn't get as dusty.
This thing's long.
This is a boat. This is a proper boatmobile. This thing is huge. The paint's gorgeous though. Should we pull this back?
Yeah, let's take a peek. See what we got going on inside.
Wow. You know what?
Not so
Blue cars
bad.
should have a white interior always. This is really, really nice for a Pontiac. I mean, I guess back then there were a lot of nice Pontiacs, but this seems like it was a very high-end model, a high trim.
What year is this car?
1973. 1973.
Yeah.
We had everyone back there helping us. I was going to say 1972, but I guess it's a 1973.
Yeah, I mean, it's got power everything. This drop top. This is really neat design.
Very intricate. Yeah. Oh, it's wood, too.
Yeah, I've never seen wood like...
Wow. Design in the leather as well. This is a very, very nice car. It's in great shape. Let's go grab the owners and get a little bit of the backstory because I've been told that it has a pretty cool story behind it. All right, so we squeezed into the storage container to avoid the rain, but then to also meet the owners, Mark and Anita, and get a little bit more information about the Granville. First things first, this thing is incredibly large, incredibly cool, and it looks like it's in great shape. How long has it been in here?
It's been about 20 years. I'd say 1998, basically, so it'll be 25 years at most. So.
I was born in 96, as was Brent was 95, so it's been here nearly my... I wasn't out of diapers when this thing got put in here.
Since you've been alive, yes, yes.
Why did it get put into the storage unit?
Anita and I were married. We got divorced in '93, and what ended up happening was I did all the work on it and took care of it. And once I got divorced, I just left the car to her. She had a garage for it, and I didn't have a garage. So basically, Anita took over the car.
And she saved it all these years, huh?
Saved it all these years.
Wow. 25 years. That's a long time to pay on a storage unit.
Yes.
Probably could have bought another Granville.
Yeah, basically.
But
basically.
This one obviously has the memories attached to it, and you can't buy those.
Yes. As you know, though, we are in the heart of the Hocking Hills area, too. So this car has seen a lot of highways and byways in this area, too, in Logan and Hocking County.
Absolutely. Was it put away running?
Yes.
Okay, so it's a good chance it will run again, and we actually have Adam from Power and Performance meeting us at the shop right after we get back to hopefully get it running before we even start the cleaning process because our schedule's a little messed up this week. So hopefully we can get it running. I know we're going to be putting new tires on it, and hopefully you can bring it back, and you guys can maybe even take it for a spin.
Great.
That's the goal for this video.
Right. Yeah, I would like to thank my brother Ron too. He was the one that actually turned me on to you guys and said, "Why don't you email WD and see if they'll take your car?" And I said, "You know what? Let's do it."
Here we are. And we're gonna get this thing cleaned up, and it's gonna shine beautifully. This is a beautiful color blue. The interior's in great shape. I can't wait to see the end result.
Yeah. Ever since Anita and I got back together, we've been wanting to pull it out, but then COVID hit. We started talking right before COVID hit. COVID hit, and then I suffered a couple injuries to the hips, so it was like it kept getting put off and put off. But honestly, thankfully, you guys reached out to us finally, because otherwise this car would have been stuck in storage probably for another 20, 25 years.
Wow.
Without your help.
Yeah.
You're just giving us a little boost.
We're happy to do it, and I heard that maybe you had even held on to this car in hopes that you could rekindle the flame eventually.
Anita was holding on to this car. We didn't speak until basically right before COVID, and I think she once I found out she still had the car, she was luring me back into the fold, and I was like, and then once I found out she had the car, I was like, okay, I've got to get this thing out. I've got to.
Okay, now we're gonna start airing these tires up, seeing if they're gonna hold any air so we can get this car out of this unit. But I wanna ask the question of the video, so leave your answers in the comments below. This story makes me think about some stories that I've had in the past with relationships. I wanna ask you guys, I feel like most people have done something crazy for a relationship that they normally would not do. So my question to you is, what is the craziest gesture you've made for somebody that in any other lifetime you probably would not have done, but you did just because it was them? Like in this case, keeping a car in a storage unit and paying for it for 20 years. I love this story. I want to read your stories. Leave a comment below.
Ten paces. On three, we draw. 1, 2, 3. Are you wearing Tacovas?
Yes, I am.
Is that a Tacovas belt?
Yes, it is.
I have the same boots on.
I got the same belt on.
Man, this is silly. Let's squash this beef. But you guys know it's not silly. This video sponsors Tacovas. One thing you guys might not know about me is I actually grew up on a small farm where we had pigs, chickens, a neighbor had horses. We had a garden, fruit trees. And so, although I don't live that lifestyle anymore, I respect that lifestyle and all the hard work that goes along with it. But one thing I never had was a pair of good cowboy boots. But that's all changed today, thanks to Tacovas. In every pair of Tacovas boot, you can expect premium quality and timeless Western style. These boots are made by hand in over 200 individual steps and are always made from premium cowhide and exotic leathers. And as someone who's never worn cowboy boots before, I was surprised with how comfortable these were from the moment I put them on. And they're known for their broken-in leather, so you never have to worry about breaking in stiff or uncomfortable boots. The only thing that's a bummer about Tacovas is that there's no Tacovas store near us, but if you guys get the opportunity to, make sure you go check it out because they offer complimentary drinks, free boot shines, and you get the perfect fit with their expert staff. But I gotta say, I just ordered my normal shoe size and these are a true 12 and they fit great. They also offer complimentary branding and leather stamping if you want to personalize your boots or fine leather goods. Honest to God, these boots are incredible. They're extremely nice and extremely comfortable. So if you guys want to try out Tacovas, scan the QR code on the screen or click the link in the description below to get yourself a pair. So thank you so much to Tacovas for sponsoring this video and giving me my new favorite pair of cowboy boots. But now, time to get back to that Pontiac. All right, guys, we're back with the Granville, and Adam is already here to try and get it running. Adam's from Power and Performance. He helps us get all these cars started again, and we're hoping that this one will start and that they can take it for the first drive in almost 25 years.
First place is to look is going to be under the hood. Look how deep this bumper is. All right, let's take a look. Looks very clean under here. I don't know exactly what it is. It's a Pontiac motor. They made them in many different sizes. I'm not a professional when it comes to these as far as knowing every in and out. Alrighty. Let's start seeing our fluids. This will be transmission.
Looks red to me. Did you taste it to tell if it's burnt?
Brent's the only certified taste tester here. Here's our oil dipstick.
There was a pretty large leak underneath the car when we dragged it out. So.
Okay.
Looks full too.
All right, that's a good sign. Those are kind of two of the biggest things we have. I always want to see this just in case you go to run it too much and it starts to make some heat. And I don't feel anything down in there and I don't see anything down in there. So looks like the radiator has drained out. And a lot of these old cars, this is definitely one of the most common things. Very low radiator coolant levels. But looking over everything, the important belts are there. Looks like all the spark plug wires are connected. I don't see any giant nests or animal nests in there like some of the cars sometimes. A quick question. You guys know what this is for?
So it's something to do with the throttle.
Yeah.
Is it like is it a throttle? Is it like the step in between a mechanical throttle and electronic throttle?
What does your truck have when you're out on the highway?
It's got
Cruise control.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's a vacuum.
I think you're gonna tell me overdrive.
So like here's two speed sensors coming in and out. There's a vacuum diaphragm that'll control and regulate your speed. So when
you set it, it compresses and holds the line there?
Yeah, it'll take the input and output, and if it sees a difference between what it wants and what it has, it'll add or subtract vacuum to actually move the throttle blades and give you faster, slower speeds.
Cool.
So it's kind of cool something that old actually has cruise control. I don't know what the first year would have been. I think I've seen some mid to late 60 cars actually have it. So that's kind of cool. So one of the first things we want to do after looking everything over is we want to put some power to this, turn the key, and we want to see if it cranks, because that's going to tell us if it's actually going to start or what we kind of have to do before we go and look at that gas tank to see what's in there. So RJ, go ahead and try to crank it.
This thing only has 69,000 miles on it.
Okay. That's a good sign right there. So let me grab a little bit of starting fluid and see if it'll kick over real quick. All right, so hit it with a little bit of starting fluid. Go ahead, RJ. Look at that, she is going to run. Let's go ahead and drain that gas tank, get that fuel out of there, get some fresh stuff in there. Let's get this car started.
Oh, it's freaking auto. Whoa.
Yeah.
Oh no, it just gets stuck that way. Wow, look at that.
Oh, hold up. This side isn't coming up as it should. I don't hear this motor over here working.
All right, let's see if we can muscle it up then, since that cable's broken. Oh, there we go. Okay.
The back glass is gone.
Well, it looks like it's been gone for a while because it's vacuumed out.
Most of these have like a vinyl plastic, like a plexiglass or Lexan type window. But it looks like this one actually has a genuine glass rear window. All right, let's go ahead and see if we got some fuel in here. Oh, that's a good sign.
We've tried using that thing 3 times.
I know, you've
and all 3
the only
are
thing I
dry.
used it on was pulling 10 gallons out of that Mercedes. That was the only vehicle that we pulled gas out of. You hear that? She's empty. Oh, you guys see this exhaust? It's got Bluetooth mufflers. Look at this. We got a exhaust tip and we got the exhaust, and we have a high-tech Bluetooth muffler connecting the two. So it's variable sound, variable noise. We put some gas in the tank, and we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna start it, get it moving with some starting fluid. That way the pump can bring some fuel up to the carburetor, and hopefully this thing's gonna fire up and run exactly as we want to. I know a lot of you are wondering, why aren't we going through and changing all the fluids and the oil and all the stuff in the car? Well, the biggest thing is we want to make sure this thing's going to run and move before we go ahead and spend a bunch of time and money replacing all the components that really a car like this needs. All right, go ahead and hit it. Look at that.
Holy crap, nice job.
Sounds really good too. So there might be a blockage that's actually preventing the gas from coming up to the pump. We could get a little bit out of it, but there's not much. So there might be a screen in the bottom of the tank that's actually blocking the fuel to flow enough, or there might be something in the lines down somewhere internally.
So with all that being said, that's an issue that we had Adam take care of off camera and get the car running for the end of the video. But now we're gonna actually start detailing the car, beginning with the wheels.
All right, now with that off and out of our way, we can take a good look at this Pontiac wheel. And as you can see, it is pretty dirty, pretty grimy. So we are gonna be using our Purple Rain wheel cleaner and our tire cleaner to get this thing looking just like new.
Now we're gonna clean the engine with our citrus degreaser, but if you know what engine's in this car because we could not figure it out, leave a comment down below. And really quick, while we spray cherry suds, I don't normally talk at this part, but I want to ask you guys, if we were to come out with more soap scents, what would you want? Obviously, we only have cherry right now, so expanding the line could be a lot of fun, especially if you guys help us choose what to put out.
All right, guys, now it's time to remove the iron from the paint before we start polishing. And so we're gonna be using our iron kryptonite. Our iron remover helps break down iron particulate that gets lodged in the paint as you drive. You pick it up from the brakes, from your brakes, from other brakes on the road, the steel brakes. Again, that particulate gets lodged in the clear coat and then it rusts. And so we're going to remove it by using our iron remover, and you can tell when it's working when it starts to turn purple. And now we're going to agitate it using a clay mitt. This is synthetic clay that's attached to a wash mitt. And this is actually a new product that we're thinking about bringing to the store. So we're in the testing process. We want to make sure that it's a quality product before we launch it on our website. But if it's something that you're interested in, drop a comment below and let us know if we should launch it. Now we have everything starting to bleed nice and purple, and we're just going to use a clay mitt to agitate it and remove all that iron and other particulate from the paint. That way, it's nice and smooth, and we have a clean surface to polish.
All right, moving on to the interior of this Granville. I gotta say, this feels a lot more like a Cadillac than like a Pontiac. These seats are big and luxurious. This carpet is nice and thick. And also, there is a lot of wood in here, and I didn't expect that because not only is there this nice wood grain on the dash, but if you check out the door, I've never seen a design quite like that on an interior of any car. Now I'm talking about, I've been in old Rolls Royce, old Bentleys, Maseratis, Cadillacs, you name it, I've been in a lot. And that actually feels very, very special. Another cool aspect is the blue exterior with the white interior. I think that's just a classic combo. And I like that they didn't do too much white. They didn't make the dashboard white. They didn't make the steering wheel white. A lot of companies in the 70s kind of went full bore, where they'd have an all green interior, all blue interior, or all red or burgundy interior. I was kind of worried when I heard that this had a white interior that would be something like that. I feel like this is much cleaner done and kind of makes this feel a little bit nicer than maybe it actually is. I didn't know how I felt about it when I first got into it, but now I gotta say, this thing is super nice and I'm really excited to get it cleaned up. So let's get these seats out of here.
And here's a great tip for anyone who struggles to clean their vents properly. Maybe you clean them with a brush or microfiber towel and you usually miss some dust or whatever. Try using a Q-tip next time. Add that to your arsenal and thank me later.
All right, now it's time to polish the Granville. And before I get to that, you guys can ignore the car on jack stands. We actually went and got brand new rubber put on these wheels for the owner. He ordered the tires and then we had them put on, so I have to reinstall these here in a moment. But first, I wanted to go over the condition of the paint on the Granville, and it's actually really, really interesting. I'm not sure what happened to cause all of this weird failure from the bottom up. There is a bunch of little circles that are rusting from, again, what looks to be from the inside out. And to be honest, I've never seen that before in this particular pattern. I've seen a lot of jacked up cars, but this one is confusing me a bit. So if anyone knows how this kind of, again, I don't know if it's staining or failure from, you know, the metal, the primer, the base coat up, but this is a base clear car, so maybe it's been repainted at some point. I'm not sure. Very strange. My plan of action is to lift up this oxidation. This is actually the pressure washing mark, so that's really strange too, because they should have evened out after we did the initial wash and clay bar treatment. So a lot of weird stuff going on with this Pontiac Granville, but the paint is in great shape. It's a rust-free car, and so the end result is going to look incredible. And so my goal, like usual, is to just remove that top layer of oxidation, you know, remove some of those weird pressure washing lines that we see on the hood, and hopefully come out with a really, really nice end result. And I'm very confident that I'm going to be able to achieve that. Now to clean the rag top, I'm going to actually use our interior cleaner and a microfiber and a brush. So we didn't want to spray the roof with any water or any soap because it does have some tears and obviously this big hole in the back. So I figured I would clean it by hand. So what I'm gonna do first is just generously spray down the whole entire rag top and just wipe away the excess dirt. It actually worked really well. And then I'm gonna go ahead and follow up with the brush and agitate it. Pretty impressed. So we tend not to use heavy cleaners on rag tops like this because at the end of the day, it is cloth, and our interior cleaner does a pretty good job of removing dirt and grime from cloth without the risk of staining or damaging the cloth. So we're gonna go ahead and do the rest of the ragtop and see how it turns out.
And now to finish up the detail, we're gonna wrap it up by polishing all the chrome, shining the tires, cleaning the windows, adding a ceramic sealant, and this car is good to go. But make sure you guys keep watching to see their reaction because it was amazing.
All right, guys, we drove all the way down to Columbus to surprise Mark with his Pontiac, but he has no idea that Adam got it running. And also Adam came back to the shop and he was able to flush out the gas tank, so it actually runs under its own power now. So I told them to stay over here. We're gonna push the car all the way over here, but we're not. We're gonna drive it over here. Let's go get their reaction.
All right, are you excited?
I haven't slept in 2 days waiting for this moment. So.
We're about to pull it out. We're gonna push it over here and show you guys. So
Oh, this is so
we're
exciting.
gonna get your reaction. Are you guys nervous?
Yeah.
Yes.
Nervous and excited.
No.
start.
That no. No. Oh.
Oh my.
Oh no.
Looks sweet.
No way.
That is gorgeous.
Oh my.
And it's running.
Wow.
Looks great, guys. Yeah.
Wow. Look at the seats. Oh my God.
Right?
Yeah. It looks brand new inside.
The seats look brand new. What the heck did you guys do to that?
We cleaned them, conditioned them.
Wow.
Wow, they were kind of cracky.
They were a little jacked up. I went ahead and made sure that I steamed them as well, just to remove all the gunk in between all the
Yeah.
cracks and whatnot.
Yeah, the brown stuff.
But, yeah, we work on a lot of classic cars. This one was one of the nicest ones we've ever had the privilege of working on. I think you guys aren't too far off from driving this around all summer.
That's what I'm thinking too. Once I heard that crank, I was like, oh no. I started freaking out on camera. I was like, oh my
That
God.
is great.
Well, we were like,
Beautiful.
Oh my.
Thank you
It
guys
looks
so
so
much.
much prettier.
Thank
So
you,
much
Brad.
prettier.
Oh my God.
oh no, you guys are very welcome. All right, so after it's running, what's the first plan? What's the first trip?
Basically, probably Hocking Hills. More than likely. Yeah.
Heck yeah.
We'd go to the state parks in Ohio. Enjoy that.
Thank you guys again so much
Yes,
for the
thank
opportunity.
you.
We
Thank
appreciate it. And thank you guys so
I
much.
never imagined this in my wildest dreams.
I was just thankful that you were persistent and that we were able to get this done for you, because this was an awesome video. It's an awesome car. I never knew much about the Granvilles or really anything at all, and I got to learn about them while working on yours. So it was a privilege.
Cool. Good deal.
And I'm very thankful to all of you guys at home for watching. We appreciate it so much. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. It helps the channel. And if you want to see more videos like this, hit subscribe. And we'll see you next week with another sweet car.